Welcome to ESMS Primer, an introductory course on environmental and social management systems, or ESMS, developed by the GGF Green Academy for partner financial institutions of the Green for Growth Fund. This course will familiarise you with the potential environmental and social, or E&S, risks facing your portfolio. It will also introduce effective tools you can use to mitigate and manage these risks and enhance the positive impacts of your investments. We hope you find the course useful.
Hello again. Remember me? I am Anna. I work as an environmental and social officer at a financial institution. In this video, we will look at the credit appraisal process from the beginning of a loan application to its approval, focusing on the key steps an institution should take during environmental and social due diligence and monitoring.
What steps do we need to take?
First, the credit officer checks that the client does not engage in activities on the institution's E&S exclusion list. If it is, the application should be rejected and the client informed about the outcome. Once the application has been cleared, the credit officer assigns an inherent E&S risk category, high, medium or low. This can be done by using the E&S risk categorization list tool. The level of E&S risk can be determined by the location and nature of the client's business, as well as the size and term of the loan. Based on this, the credit officer will prepare an initial E&S screening memo for the E&S officer to agree the E&S risk category. If the category is medium or high, the client should be informed of the E&S review process and receive a questionnaire to complete about its E&S practices.
So, does E&S categorization help determine how much due diligence is needed for each transaction?
Yes, the extent of the E&S due diligence, or ESDD, depends on the assigned E&S risk category and the client's operations. For a low E&S risk transaction, the client should confirm its compliance with the national E&S laws. In this case, no further assessment is needed.
I'm not an E&S expert, so who reviews medium and high E&S risk transactions?
For clients or projects categorized as medium or high E&S risk, the E&S officer should identify E&S standards and guidelines against which the client or project will be assessed. For example, national regulations, GGF's E&S requirements, the IFC performance standards, and the World Bank's environmental, health and safety guidelines. For medium E&S risk transactions, the E&S officer performs the due diligence. This may involve checking environmental permits and compliance with applicable E&S standards, meeting with the client's management and E&S personnel to discuss issues from the E&S questionnaire, assessing the client's ability to understand and manage the E&S risks of its operations, determining which IFC performance standards will apply to the transaction, and identifying any E&S business opportunities. In comparison, ESDD for high-risk or Category A transactions involves a full-scale review of E&S risks and should be based on the IFC performance standards and World Bank guidelines. For such transactions, the E&S officer should appoint a qualified external E&S expert to undertake the ESDD review. Based on the outcomes of the ESDD, the E&S officer and the credit officer summarise the findings in the ESDD report. It should include the assigned E&S risk category, who performed the ESDD, the national laws and applicable E&S standards used to assess the client, and lastly, the environmental and social action plan.
So what happens in the ESDD report? Is it saved?
A summary of the ESDD report is included in the credit proposal submitted to the financial institution's credit committee. The committee reviews the summary, taking all the E&S findings into consideration, including risk control measures. After the application is approved, the legal agreement is prepared.
And this is the end of the process, right?
Almost, once the loan is disbursed, the financial institution should regularly monitor the client's compliance with the E&S conditions in the agreement. During monitoring, the E&S officer should look out for events or changes that could present new or increased E&S risks. For example, changes to the client's business activity, any regulatory fines or penalties, negative media or public complaints relating to the client's activities, accidents caused by the client's operations resulting in considerable damage to the environment or public health, changes in the national E&S laws that may affect the company's ability to comply. For high-risk or Category A transactions, an external expert should perform on-site monitoring. A record of each client transaction should be maintained by the financial institution's credit officer. In the next video, we will explore example case studies of how a financial institution can conduct an E&S appraisal of transactions in low, medium, and high E&S risk categories. You can find links to helpful documents and guidelines in the description box of this video.